A divorced boss with OCD-level perfectionism, an ex-boyfriend who vanishes without warning. Both men are waiting for her answer. What is she supposed to do? Ji-yoon finally decided to join Siwoo's project team. On her first day, she was a nervous wreck. She kept wondering if she'd made the wrong call. The moment she walked into the office, she froze. Siwoo's desk was spotless, almost unsettling. There wasn't even a single pen on it. This guy woke up at 6:30 every morning. His life was as disciplined as a machine. One more thing left Ji-yoon speechless. It was just the two of them in the office, but Siwoo wouldn't say things out loud. He'd type everything out over company messenger instead. Ji-yoon stared at the messages, completely baffled. She wondered if the guy had some kind of social anxiety. Ji-yoon had already joined his team, but manager Ko kept giving her a hard time. He wouldn't let her leave the old team cleanly. He piled her with reports due by the weekend. Siwoo wanted to help her turn it down, but Ji-yoon just couldn't say no to people. She ended up wrapping things up for her old team anyway. Siwoo wasn't happy when he found out. He didn't want her taking on everyone else's leftover work, but Ji-yoon felt like if she didn't handle it, the pressure would just land on some other coworker instead. It was their first real disagreement. Siwoo valued efficiency and clear boundaries. Ji-yoon was used to shouldering burdens and cleaning up messes. Oddly enough, the friction made their relationship feel more real. They left the office at the same time that evening. Ji-yoon sat in the train feeling completely on edge. She just realized she and Siwoo lived close to each other. Their routes home were almost identical. She kept up polite small talk on the surface, but in her head, she was already planning a move. Siwoo, meanwhile, acted like nothing was unusual at all. They walked side by side down the street. The silence was more awkward than anything at the office. Ji-yoon was now sure this man was a completely different species from her, but that exact difference was what made her start noticing him. That weekend, Ji-yoon got a call from her ex's friend. She learned that Chu Tian had cashed out his rental deposit. He'd done it to fund his album release. He'd been crashing at other people's places ever since. And somehow, all of this traced back to her. Soon after, she heard Chu Tian's long-delayed song for herself. He'd actually finished writing it a while back. At the time, Ji-yoon had thought it was already great. She'd even encouraged him to release it right away. But Chu Tian always felt it wasn't quite there yet. He kept wanting to wait a little longer, tweak it a little more. That was just how he lived his whole life, and it was exactly how he handled love. 2. He always said the timing wasn't right yet. He always pushed the real decisions further down the road, but by the time he finally got around to it, he hadn't just missed his shot with the song, he'd lost her too. The song left Ji-yoon completely unsettled. She started making mistakes at work, one after another. She sent the wrong files. She miscalculated numbers. Siwoo could tell something was off with her. He pulled her aside for a talk. He wasn't the type to comfort people gently. What he said actually came out pretty harsh, but Ji-yoon knew he wasn't trying to humiliate her. He genuinely didn't want her emotions to drag her down. Ji-yoon went to see a doctor. The doctor told her she had a textbook case of boss phobia. The moment she saw a boss, her instinct was to hide, and the instant a boss showed her any kindness, she'd immediately start suspecting they had an ulterior motive. Ji-yoon had been burned too many times at work, so when someone showed her even a little bit of warmth, her first reaction wasn't gratitude, it was defensiveness. The next day, Ji-yoon showed up early. She reorganized her whole approach to the project. Siwoo noticed the change but didn't comment on it. The two of them kept grinding on the project together. After round of testing, they finally landed results that were closer to the goal. But Siwoo still wasn't satisfied. He was a perfectionist through and through. Ji-yoon started trying to understand where that came from. To help her get why he refused to compromise, Siwoo took her out for a highball. The ice ball in the glass was cut almost perfectly clear. It gave Ji-yoon her first real, visceral sense of something. Once you raise the bar that high, there's no going back down. Siwoo didn't try to argue her into agreeing. He just let her see it for herself. And finally, Ji-yoon understood. He wasn't making things hard for people out of spite. He genuinely believed things could always be better. This drink, unlike the tension from a few days before, felt different. It felt more like two adults quietly getting closer. They weren't just boss and employee anymore. They started trading thoughts. They started trading old wounds. 2. Each of them began showing the other a softer side. Ji-yoon brought up her ex on her own. Siwoo caught her meaning right away, but he had his own take on it. He believed some things needed the right timing. He also believed some things needed to be done right, fully. Ji-yoon didn't push back and fight him on it. Instead, she said she wanted to try it her own way. She compared Siwoo to the north wind. She compared herself to the sun. That was the moment their relationship quietly started to shift. They weren't the same kind of person, but maybe that difference was exactly what let them complement each other. Later, the two of them went grocery shopping after work. This part felt strikingly real, almost mundane. It was the classic budgeting scene of someone living alone and working full-time. Is one bottle of milk the better deal? Or is the two-pack actually cheaper? The two of them ended up splitting a bulk order. Ji-yoon crunched the numbers carefully the whole time. She led Siwoo up and down the aisles as she shopped. Siwoo didn't seem impatient at all. He just listened quietly the whole way through. He even pushed the cart for her. This man was like an iceberg at the office, but outside of work, he was starting to show clumsy little bits of warmth. That was when Ji-yoon realized something. The Siwoo after hours wasn't quite the same as the one at the office. She figured he must be lonely. Even though this was the path he'd chosen for himself, having no one in his corner would still feel isolating. That line hit Siwoo right in the chest. He didn't argue with her. He just thanked her sincerely. Hardly anyone ever noticed his loneliness. Even fewer people ever chose to stand by him. Siwoo walked Ji-yoon home. He was carrying her things, about to walk her up. That's when her ex showed up out of nowhere. Ji-yoon didn't try to hide it. She told Siwoo straight up that this was her ex. Siwoo was ready to leave them to it, but Ji-yoon suddenly stopped him. She asked him to stay with her a little longer. She wasn't trying to use Siwoo to provoke Chutian. She was facing a man who'd vanished for 8 months and just reappeared. She genuinely needed something to lean on. When Chutian saw Siwoo, he kept up a polite front, but possessiveness leaked through his words. Siwoo didn't take the bait. He didn't try to stake any claim either. He just stood beside Ji-yoon and let her make the call. Chutian pulled out concert tickets. He said he wanted her to see what he'd been doing these past 8 months. Ji-yoon wanted to turn him down, but Chutian pinned all his hope on her showing up. He even asked Siwoo if he could let her off work early. Siwoo didn't answer for her. He just calmly pointed out that this was Ji-yoon's decision alone. Eventually, the project wrapped up. Siwoo did something unheard of and took the whole team out to eat. He'd never been the type to enjoy group dinners, but this time, he actually tried to fit in with the team. It felt like he was learning how to get closer to people. Over dinner, he asked Ji-yoon if she planned to go to Chutian's concert. Ji-yoon said she had no intention of getting back together. She just still had some tangled feelings about that relationship. Siwoo didn't try to stop her. He didn't show any obvious jealousy either. He just told her that facing it head-on was the only way she'd really understand how she felt. So Ji-yoon went to the concert. Chutian stood on stage singing the song he'd written for her. Down in the crowd, Ji-yoon listened quietly. She remembered once asking Chutian how he felt about marriage. He'd said marriage and living together were just two ways of being with someone. He said they didn't need any system to be happy together. Hearing that, Ji-yoon had known he never wanted to get married. Chutian was always vanishing without warning. He was like a free bird you could never really hold on to. As it turned out, he hadn't actually been traveling at all. He'd been out working odd jobs for money. Back then, he knew he had no savings, so he kept disappearing on the spur of the moment. He never had the guts to tell her the truth. Then one day, Ji-yoon got ready to propose to him. That day, Chutian had actually gone back home. He'd found 2 notes she'd written to prepare for the proposal. That's how he found out she wanted to get married. But at that point in his life, he had neither the means nor the money. He didn't want to get married just like that, on a whim. So he lied and told her he was going on a trip. He disappeared for 8 months. Just like that, Ji-yoon's proposal turned into a joke. Ji-yoon used to think what she wanted was an answer about marriage. Later, she finally understood. What she actually wanted was just an outcome. Any outcome. Whether that meant marriage or a breakup didn't matter. She was just exhausted. She didn't want to keep dragging out a relationship with no ending in sight. After the concert ended, Ji-yoon said her goodbyes to Chutian. Quietly, in her own heart, she admitted they'd been different kinds of people from the very start. She was always worried about the future. Chutian only ever cared about the present moment. She needed stability. He was obsessed with freedom. Even if his future had no place in it for her, she would still wish him well in chasing his dream. That was Ji-yoon's final act of tenderness toward her first love. But Chutian wasn't ready to let go. He chased after her, saying he wanted to start over. He even proposed to her right then, at the last possible moment. And just like that, things got more complicated than ever. The answer Ji-yoon had waited so long for had finally arrived. It had just arrived far, far too late.